Good morning, friends. Out here warming up the feet. You can see the sweatpants and the socks have been kicked off. I'm getting to this later than I usually like, but I'm still fitting it in. So I thought I'd come and just do the accountability check in with you as well. I got some, maybe more of a pointed message today to myself that might be useful to you. And the message, globally speaking, big picture, is don't get carried away in your recovery, right? Stop while you're ahead. You know, if you know better, do better. And with regard to my foot recovery and strengthening process, the way that applies is, one of the things I've really had to learn to do and appreciate is you got to stress your feet to strengthen them, and then you got to back off. And it's so easy to get carried away. It is so easy to get carried away. But you really need to respect and conservatively, proceed. And one of the things that I've noticed has been, I have to make a whole video about just how stressful walking is for your feet, especially if you have a soft tissue injury on the bottom of your foot, right? You'd think walking, it's like the easiest, most neutral, low impact thing you could do. It's natural for the feet to walk, etc. But it's a very stressful movement, okay? Movement and weight transfer. It's really the same reason our foot is designed to do it, and the fascial tensioning, the reason, it's the structure is in there, but it's not automatic. And the reason we have so many foot injuries is because our feet just aren't strong enough to be walking. So I say that because as I've been recovering my foot injury, I've been able to do really high impact things. Like yesterday, I probably did about 20 minutes of high impact jumping stuff, from jumping jacks to running in place and high knees. And these dances I like to do. There's a bunch of folkloric dances that involve a lot of jumping and single leg jumping, and side to side leaping on one leg, and just really very demanding stuff for my feet. And I was doing it barefoot on a hard surface, but in a controlled way, in that I was absolutely dancing hard. I mean, I probably danced for like 20 minutes of that, which is a record so far since I've been recovering from this soft tissue injury. And my feet performed really well. I didn't have any pain. It was like miraculous. I could be emotional about that. It's just so beautiful to be like, the recovery is working, right? We're making headway. And I had, however, planned to walk yesterday. I really wanted to go for my walk, and I've been spoiled by my feet for the past couple months that I've been able to walk without pain. That's what I was actually going to say, is I need to make a video just about the nature of walking and how it can be very stressful for the feet. And so you'd think after all that jumping and high impact, exercise for my feet, that walking would be no problem. And yet, last night, I kind of thought to myself, I want to walk. I did all this high impact stuff. I wanted to walk for the rest of my body. I wanted my joints and my hips and my back to go for just sort of a decompressing, palate cleansing walk after all that intensity, and then stretch, etc. But I really should have put my feet first. I should have thought about, okay, but how big a deal is that really to your body? And is it worth the how taxing it's going to be on your feet? So I, tried to compromise with myself. It's going to go for only 10 minutes. Sure enough, you get out on the streets, blah, blah, blah. You have to take a different route. It was late at night, blah, blah, blah. I took like a 30-minute walk, and my feet were mad. They were like so insulted. They're like, we worked our asses off for you today. We feel good. I had no sensitivity in my feet when I started that walk. By the end of the walk, I had sensitivity in my feet. Actually, on the left foot, the attachment of several intrinsic foot muscles attach here at sort of the base of the heel, right? Or the inside edge of the calcaneus. Anyway, I stopped myself from just like listing names of muscles, but you can absolutely have a look. Abductor hallucis, the quadratus plantae, is that the right one? Yeah, anyway, no, I shouldn't have gone there. My brain is a little, not quite there for listing the muscles, but you can see them. And it really doesn't matter what they're called if you have an idea and a visualization of what they look like and their action, okay? But yeah, anyway, a lot of stuff attaches there. Your plantar fascia attaches there, etc. So we got stressed out. And it was mad because walking is uniquely stressful for your feet. Okay? You don't have as much activation in the muscles as you do, for example, when you're jumping. And it's that muscular activation that protects the soft tissue that's not muscle, right? The fascial tissue, the attachments of all the muscles and connective tissue. When you're walking, you cannot have that type of rigidity in the feet. You have some level of tone in the feet. That's why you're doing all this strengthening, is to level up, right? So that the base level threshold of muscular tone is higher in your feet. That's how all exercise works, right? Like if I do squats and I strengthen my whole hip and leg and foot complex, now going upstairs is going to be easier because I'm just leveled up the strength. We are leveling up the strength in our feet so that walking is easier and everything else is easier. But also how much muscular activation I intentionally, right, deliberately bring to an activity also makes the exercise easier. Like I'm pointing out very obvious things, but we might not be thinking about them. So when we walk, I might have the strength to jump on one foot, but I'm not implementing that muscular activation on a step-by-step basis over a 30-minute or, whatever, a several-mile walk, whatever you're on. And especially we don't usually use that, actually, ironically, on a shorter walk, going up and down the hallway in the house, right? We're actually even more dead weight because we're not using our body with momentum. We're not getting able to load our fascia, blah, blah, blah. I know I'm going off a deep end here in terms of how walking is one of these strange movements in that walking very slowly is actually really hard on the feet. Okay, all right, we're going to stop that because that's really too much of a topic. But back to this. So what I want to say is, number one, I should have listened to my feet last night. I should not have gone for the walk. If you are recovering from a soft tissue injury, please don't do as I say, not as I do. And I very often do what I say as well. But last night I slipped. And, don't add that extra mile if you don't have to. Stop while you're ahead. And I'm so grateful this morning that my feet are not more sore than they are. Okay, they were a little tender this morning, nothing serious. I slept it off. I was in bed for a good 8 hours, so they got their recovery time, and I'm so grateful. My God. I'm really tempted to remake this video because I feel like it's kind of gone off the rails. I might actually remake the video and post both because maybe there's something in here about all my little tangential stop and starts, false starts about walking and how stressful it is on the feet that's going to be useful to someone. So I'm going to leave this video, but I'm probably going to re-record it right now, and I might update both. And it's all the same to you guys because you're just looking at my feet and furry knees anyway, right?